morning, guys. Here is Mr. Ruiz with another grammar class. Today the topic are the verb and its types. First of all, what is a verb? Well, as you must know, a verb is an action word. This means that describes what a verb, or in this case what the subject is doing in a sentence, or what is being done. So we have different types of verbs. But for example, we have this sentence: the horse is running. If you see, we have two verbs. Number one, a transitive verb, and also we have intransitive verbs. If we go back of the sentence, we are about to see this. Now we have two different verbs, is and running. But what is the main difference between them? We're gonna see it later. But the main verb in this case, the action verb, is running. So this refers to the subject, horse. What is doing the horse? Running. So we see that in this case we have an action verb, and also we have an auxiliary verb, is. Later I'm gonna explain you the main difference between a action verb and also a helping verb. So let's continue. Kinds of verb. There are two kinds of verb, as I already told you, transitive and intransitive verbs. What is a transitive verb? Transitive verbs are all the action verbs that have an object. But what is an object? Well, you will ask yourself when you are reading a sentence, to the verb what plus the verb. And if you have an answer for that question, so it means that it's a transitive verb. So example, he rode the bicycle. We ask what, you're gonna add the subject and you're gonna add the verb. And if you have answer for it, well, so you have an object. So we're gonna start. This is the main formula. What plus subject plus the verb. So what he rode. The answer is bicycle. So we have a noun that receives the action of a verb. So in this case, it's a transitive verb because we have an object. So if you have the answer for what plus the subject plus the verb, that means that you have a transitive verb. Intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs indifferent with transitive verbs, they do not have an object that receives. So we have two examples. He laughed. What he laughed. We don't have an answer for it because we don't have an object. So that means that it's intransitive. He jumped. What he jumped. Well, we don't have an answer also. So it means that they are intransitive. But how can we make transitive verbs? Well, if you add an object, in this case, he jumped at school. Let's see if this is correct. He jumped at school. What he jumped. Do we have an object? No, we don't have an object still. because we don't have something that receives the action. It doesn't have sense that we say what he jumped at school. But if we change this with an object that receives the action, what it can be? Well, it can be he jumped a car. He jumped a car. So now, yes, let's see what he jumped. A car. So we have an object. So that means that we have a transitive verbs. So the difference between a transitive and intransitive is the object. If they have object, they are transitive. If they do not have an object, so they are intransitive verbs. So we have three types of verbs. Another three types of verbs: action verb, helping verb, and linking verb. What is an action verb? Well, it is the main describer of what the subject is doing. We can say ran, we can say walk, we can say swim, tail, high, jump, whatever. Everything that describes an action of a subject. They are helping verbs. As the name says, they just help and combine to a main verb, and this expresses different things as the mood, tense, and voice. And obviously, always they will be added before the verb. Some common helping verbs are like be, do, have, can, may, will, shall, are, is. So if you see in the sentence, there's soldiers are advancing forward. We have a helping verb, and also we have an action verb or a main verb. So when we combine these two, we need a helping verb to describe that something is still happening, like advancing. So this is another tense in English. The present continuous, are advancing. When you leave an action verb with ing, that means that is still happening the action. So a helping verb is added before that verb to create a tense in English, or a mood or a voice. And linking verbs. Linking verbs, as the name says, links a subject to a noun or an adjective in a predicate. For example, Messi is a football player. Messi is a player. So in this moment, you will see that the subject is linked to the predicate. Messi is what? A player. So player is linked with Messi, the subject. So that means, I will make you the example, which is the subject? Well, Messi is the subject. And everything of this will be the predicate. But we have a connection between them. He is a player, and that is Messi. All these verbs that you see here also can be linking verbs. Why? Because they will link the subject with a predicate or also an adjective. And I hope, guys, that you understand everything. And the homework will be simple. You will write 5 sentences with transitive verbs and 5 sentences with intransitive verbs. Thank you.